Let's start this off with everyone's favorite fight scene. Though just before this moment, Anos said, which must mean he used his heart's physical muscles to cause these shockwaves. And this also means he has full control over his own heartbeat. Honestly, controlling your own heartbeat sounds terrifying. I mean, it's bad enough when someone reminds you that, I don't know, you're able to breathe manually.
No, God, please, no!
Now I recognize that this one was probably due to translation, but Anos just referred to whatever his name is as a human instead of a demon. Then let's quickly gloss over the fact that I somehow didn't notice this guy right here on my first watch. And please, correct me if I'm wrong, but in this world, literally everyone can learn and use magic. So why the heck does it look like these guards are holding guns? Don't you think camera angles are weird in anime? Then did you notice these smooth-looking background animations? Now at the very end of episode 2, Sasha says the following. Which is actually foreshadowing the fact that she plans to sacrifice herself so that Misha can live on. Then we see Anos carefully open a locked door just before Misha gives Sasha the Phoenix robe. Being the upstanding gentleman that he is, Anos leaves the room so Sasha can change, which makes no sense at all as she's just putting on a robe over top of her other clothing. Anyways, Sasha stabs Misha, which acquires her a rather large bloodstain on her shirt, which we will come back to in a moment. Well, would you look at that? Now that it's the next episode, that pesky bloodstain has disappeared. So some more stuff happened, and then we meet the God of Time, who gives Ivis full control of his powers. Wait, why the heck would he do that? Shouldn't he be fighting Anos himself? I mean, you know, he's the literal God of Time. Anyways, in episode 5, I was reminded that sometimes it's best not to pause anime. And okay, technically you didn't miss this, but I discovered that in the manga, the fan club actually has plushies of Anos, and I'm just disappointed they didn't get shown in the anime. Next we see Lei immediately win his sword fight and then get complimented by Anos on his sword fighting skills. Even though Lei didn't use any swordsmanship, he literally just bopped him on the head. Then here is a line of Lei's dialogue hinting at the fact that he's the hero and remembers the past. Once again, never pause anime. Now I hate to be that guy who ruins an otherwise cool moment, but you can clearly see there is no stick on the ground in either of these two frames, yet it magically appears a few moments later. Then did you notice that everyone in the Anos fan club wears this silver ornament? And it just so happens to be the Misfit symbol that we can see on Anos' badge. Next episode. Then we have another line of dialogue foreshadowing the fact that Lei is actually the hero. Does anyone know why Anos' healing magic has the ability to mend clothing? Now this scene was so satisfying, and don't worry, I'm not saying that Emilia should have been resurrected with her clothes on. But I am going to point out that this is very inconsistent with every other resurrection we see Anos perform. I just think that the female weebs of the world deserve their fair share of eye candy as well. Excuse you, Mr. Melhace, can you please give Anos his staff back? Now, Melhace clearly states, nobody could enter this special space that wasn't already here, which is obvious foreshadowing for the fact that Lei is also Avos Delhevia. You know, maybe starting off this new friendship with a book on how your dad beat up her dad wasn't the smartest decision. Then in episode 10, you can watch Anos' expression change as Lei picks out the necklace. Originally, I thought nothing of it, but on the second watch, this small detail holds much more meaning. After the fight scene, Misha ends up getting stabbed. Again. Like a lot. And Anos once again comes to her rescue. Now take note that Misha says she's well enough to walk on her own, Yet in the next episode, she looks like she's lying on the floor unconscious. In the final episode, more cool stuff happens of course, and then we get this scene where Anos uses a magical chain to fight Jirga. Did you realize this chain has actually been attached to his hip from the very first episode? And then for the final time... Now onto the honorable mentions. These are mainly just subtle details that were explained in later episodes. In episode 1, during the entrance exam, Anos is asked which child would the Demon Lord save in this weird scenario. We didn't get to see his answer, because this was actually foreshadowing for Misha and Sasha's character arc. Then did you notice that in episode 5, Sasha and Misha got stronger because Anos literally doubled their magic power, as he gave them a second source that then fused with their original. Then if anyone ever asks you to summarize this anime, then just show them this scene from episode 7. Lastly, did you realize that Melhace's source wasn't tainted because the hero only has 7 sources, meaning he could only control 6 of the 7 Demon Lords without killing himself? Now before you go, let's see if you can guess what waifu this is. Be sure to leave your guess in the comments. Of course, a big shout out to all my patrons. And thanks for watching everyone. I hope to see you next time.